Provo woman says she has no shame despite being raped, but she is outraged. The man responsible for sexually attacking and stalking her will get a slap on the wrist for the crime.
For every crime, there's a story, and the truth matters. Here's ABC4 senior crime and punishment correspondent Marcos Ortiz with tonight's Justice Files.
Camille Hausner is a rape survivor, but she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. That's why she's willing to go face to face to tell her story in an effort to empower others.
Seth messaged me over Facebook back in March, I believe.
It's a group chat room where Camille Hausner first meets Seth Adams and strikes a friendship.
Figured wouldn't be around someone that kind of sketchy or anything. We hung out a couple of times.
There's texting back and forth, and she invites him to dinner, knowing he has to go to work soon.
And we just didn't click. Really, the conversation kind of went nowhere.
But they stay in touch, and one day Adams is quite blunt with his motive.
At which point he asked if I would be interested in sleeping with him.
He insists sleeping with someone is the only way to learn if a relationship is possible.
And I told him no, that isn't how I work.
Adams disappears from her life, but months later, he texts again, asking for sex. She wants to make sure this isn't a one-night stand.
Very aggressive with me. He just wanted a hookup, and that has no place for any emotions.
Finally, she blocks him on Facebook, but he's relentless, texting a desire to have sex. She learns from the group Facebook that Adams allegedly contacts other women and demands sex too. He gets kicked off the group page. But one day he shows up at her home unannounced. She's on the phone talking with a member of the Facebook team. She invites him in, hoping to bring him to his senses, but he still insists on having sex.
He just wanted to have sex with no strings attached.
She tries talking him down, suggests he see a therapist, which she says sets him off. She feels trapped.
I asked if it was going to hurt. I asked if I had if this was my only choice. And he said, I guess so. And I said, I guess I have to then.
She gives in, hoping to avoid violence. He takes her to the bed and he has sex with her. Listening to all this is Crystal Elric, the Facebook group organizer. She doesn't know Hausner's address to call 911.
I was so frustrated because I couldn't do anything. And I was upset because somebody thought it was okay to do something like that.
Adams eventually leaves. Later, he texts Hausner.
He texted me and said, sorry for ruining your night.
Elric convinces Hausner to file a police report. Consent becomes an issue, but prosecutors eventually charge Adams with rape, stalking, and other crimes. In February, he accepts a plea deal. Rape charges are dropped in favor of forcible sex abuse and sexual battery. Both sides agree and recommend Adams will get probation, no sex offender treatment, and wear an ankle monitor instead of going to jail. Hausner feels she's forced to agree to the conditions.
I was bullied into it, and I didn't know that there was a way that I could agree or not agree.
Hausner never knew Adams is on the sex offender registry for molesting a girl in 2012. He's in prison for 2 years when he comes before the parole board to say he's learned his lesson.
I want to make sure that the way I interpret it is the correct way that they intended. I make sure I do that a lot now.
Instead of assuming.
Yeah, I rarely assume anymore.
Camille Hausner may find that statement from 5 years ago hard to believe. Wednesday, Seth Adams will be in court for sentencing. ABC4 will be there to monitor whether or not the judge will go along with a plea deal that gives a convicted sexual predator no jail but probation. For the Justice Files, Marcos Ortiz, ABC4 News.